Okay, hello guitarists and welcome to Coda Guitar. This is a level 1 lesson on fretting riffs, playing fretted riffs further up the neck of the guitar. So hopefully you can play a little bit by now. You've had a look at some of our beginner level lessons where when we were looking at riffs, we were looking at playing further down the neck in the open position using mainly the first 3 frets and the open strings as well. A little bit easier, but what we're trying to do now is play in ways that are more like how famous guitarists play, how sort of guitar parts on commercial tracks sound, which generally use fretted notes further up the neck. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at just actually using all 4 fingers. It's a simple exercise, dead effective. It's really useful this because you can either make playing the guitar easy or difficult. If you can find a way that's comfortable for you to play and it sounds good, then that is probably the right way for you to play the guitar basically. So we're just going to be looking at playing a chromatic exercise where we're just playing notes on 5, 6, 7 and 8 of the 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th frets on all of the strings. Now following on from this, there's other lessons looking at scales, pentatonic and 7-note major and minor scales, and there's even a couple of free riff lessons as well. But this is dead useful because if you can get used to this hand position, you can carry this on for the other lessons, scale lessons, and also the songs. So just to start with, we're going to play through, see how you get on, and then we'll talk a little bit about how you can make it easier. So literally thumb behind fret 5 roughly, not too far down the back of the neck, don't throttle the neck, and just literally frets 5, 6, 7 and 8 with fingers 1, 2, 3 and 4. So give that a little go, and if you want to pause this, that's fine. Now I'm actually holding down all 4 fingers there, all 4 notes. If that's a bit difficult, then that's fine. You can replace like with 1 finger at a time. That's not a problem to start with, but try not to do that. Try and keep your fingers reasonably close to the strings. So we're just going to do that on all of the strings, and then we play string 2. So if you just want to play along with me, string 3, now it's getting a bit of a stretch now, string 4, string 5, this is probably getting quite difficult by now if this is the first time you've ever tried this, and then string 6, this is the biggest stretch, but fortunately it doesn't get any harder than this. Okay, so like I said, if it's easier to replace, not only to have 1 finger fretting at any one time, that's absolutely fine to start with. If you can get all of your fingers down together at once, great. Really good warm-up this, because there's more effort involved there by holding down all 4 fingers at once, so it's really good for warming your fingers up, getting fingers working before you play songs. So also what we want to try and do is we want to keep our fingers pretty flat here. Now say when you're playing chords, if you can see there, my fingers are quite high. I'm using these joins to good effect. I'm pretty much in the middle of the ends of my fingers. When I'm playing, that's because I don't want to catch the strings underneath. When we're playing riffs, we're just playing 1 note at a time. So basically we can afford to be much flatter. So say if I'm playing this note here, for example, fret 5 on the E string, I'm actually catching all of the other strings. Not a problem though, because I only need to play 1 note at a time, so it doesn't matter if I'm catching the other strings. So that makes it easier because you don't need to reach round as far, and if it feels more comfortable, then it's easier to play, and if it's easier to play, then you'll make it sound better and you'll be able to play faster more quickly. So keep your fingers dead relaxed, a bit flatter than you'd normally be if you're playing open chords. And also, a couple of other things. If you can see here, when I'm actually holding down all 4 fingers at once, these 2 fingers are actually flatter. My outside fingers are flatter than my middle 2. So I'm kind of rolling off a tiny little bit on the side of my first finger there, and a tiny little bit on the side up this way, up the, towards the high end of the neck with my little finger, down a bit more towards the low end of the neck with my first finger, and these 2 fingers, 2 and 3 in the middle, are curled round a bit more. That is a typical hand position when you're covering 1 finger for each fret. Okay, so try that again. See if it's any easier. Pause this video whenever you need to and practice all of this. And just on the top string, it's easier on the top string because you're not reaching around as much. Start there and see how you get on. Once you've done that, when you move on to the next string, what you're actually doing is you're gradually reaching round a little bit more each time. Okay, as you can see, I'm just bringing my wrist back in when I'm on string 1 and reaching right round when I'm on string 6. So you definitely have to reach, otherwise you just end up being really flat there by the time you get anywhere near string 6. Or if you start up here, say if you reverse it and start on string 6, if I keep reaching around that far, when I get to string 1, that's a real stretch. I don't need to do that. I actually bring my hand position back round again. Because what we want to try and do is we want to try and keep our fingers using the same fretting position for each string. So I'm fretting a little bit further back round, not quite so much on the tip because my fingers are flatter compared to using open chords when I'm playing open chords, and whichever part of my finger it feels comfortable to fret the notes with, I'm going to keep using that for all of the strings as much as possible. So bearing all that in mind, have another little go, dead slowly. Next string. Okay, now if this is too fast, because it might be, if this is the first time you've tried these fretted notes, it is a stretch. You can see I'm using my wrist quite a lot there. If this is a bit of a stretch, it's fine. Just, or if it's a bit fast as well, pause the video, try it on your own, go really slowly. Okay, because it's much better to make it sound musical, and each note sounds nice and clear rather than trying to force it and go really quickly to start with. Remember, it's not a race. You need to go at a comfortable speed to start with. If it feels easy, then you're probably nice and relaxed and you'll get a much better sound out of your guitar. Speaking of being relaxed, don't push down too hard. If it's a stretch, you might find you're really tense and you're trying to throttle the neck. Don't do that. I can actually play, if you can see here, look, I can actually play without even using my thumb on the back of the neck there. I mean, it's a bit awkward. I wouldn't normally do that, but just as an example of how little pressure I need to put on the strings to fret the notes. Because remember, you push down too hard and you start bending the string, you make it sound a little bit wonky. So stay relaxed, only put the minimum amount of pressure on that you need. Keep your fingers close to the strings and have a go at that. Great warm up. Once you can play it on fret 5, you can move it around. You can start from fret 7, 8, 9, 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. It gets a lot harder when we're on the lower strings because, as you can see, the frets are further apart, so you're having to stretch your fingers out a bit more. Have a go with the fantastic free drum machine on the website. That'd be really good to keep you in time, but like we said, go slowly to start with and then you can build it up. You know, there's no point. That sounds a bit rubbish. I'm going to go a little bit more slowly to start with. and then I'll speed it up and it'll sound a little bit smoother at the end. So that's it, simple little exercise. Get that under your fingers, have a look at some of the other scale exercises, have a go at some of the songs, level 1 songs. There's some great riffs, level 1 blues funk, classic rock, metal. It's got a nice edgy metal style, Metallica style riff going on there, and just have fun with it. So hopefully that lesson was useful, and we'll see you here again soon on Coda Guitar.